Barbara Rimkunis, and this is your Exeter History Minute. Did you get a lot of ads in the newspaper this week? I did. And that got the history part of my brain wondering, what kind of advertising would we find in Exeter's newspapers over the past 200 years? Luckily, we have a lot of old newspapers here at the Exeter Historical Society. Back at the beginning of the 19th century, the advertising wasn't particularly exciting. Merchants would advertise goods that had just arrived with very little fanfare. There were also lots of what we'd call classified ads. William York is looking for his cow. She's a big red cow, 13 years old with crooked horns. That's a nice picture. I mean, it's definitely a cow. Of course, it looks a lot like the cow James Folsom found a few years later. The newspaper only had one print block for a cow, so it's not meant to be an exact picture of the actual cow. These were both in the paper in the 1830s. A decade later, there was a bit more variation. This parasol ad ran in 1840, although you're still depending on the description to find out that the parasols offered were bordered and fringed, dish-figured in slate, black, brown, sarsenet silk. You don't really get that from the picture. And although this looks like our old friend the cow, it's actually selling buffalo oil as a hairdressing. Because when you think of buffalo, you think, if only I had hair as silky as a buffalo. There were just such limited graphics available. In the 1860s, the real estate listings were still having the same challenges as the lost cows. You got to read the text, otherwise you're just buying monopoly houses. Other merchants took to playing fun with fonts to get the reader's attention. Check this one out. Things got better by the end of the century. Some products had their own advertising that was reused over and over. Testimonials were a favorite way of selling various patent medicines, although sometimes you'd see the same person selling different products. Christmas, which you'll remember wasn't observed in Exeter much before the Civil War, would, by the late 19th century, offer us some greatly improved advertising. Electricity was new in the 20th century, and in the 1920s, Exeter Hampton Electric had all sorts of electric wonders to sell. Then the Depression hit in the 1930s. So maybe instead of buying all the gadgets, you should just stick to one thing. Maybe a refrigerator. William Young was selling them, and he was a proud participant in the National Recovery Administration, so the price would be fair. Well, until the NRA was declared unconstitutional because of price fixing. Ads during World War II went with a patriotic theme. These were scary times. Buy a bond, because there's not a lot of consumer goods out there. Or maybe get some practical things for your junior commando. Post-war prosperity brought back luxury goods and an emphasis on home and family. But it also placed a lot of pressure on people to buy just the right thing. I can relate to this woman's exhaustion. You can't exactly see the anxiety of the Cold War looming in most advertising, but it's there. Santa's favorite gift, a guided missile bank. So if today's ads are making you feel overwhelmed with consumerism, just be glad you're not giving in to this, the last-minute holiday fruitcake. Have a great holiday season from the Exeter Historical Society. Easy to find at www.exeterhistory.org.